Hi guys, very good evening to all of you. Welcome to the video number 493 and my name is Ajay Parmar. In this video today we are going to talk about how to use the if and the loop in a one program. This is going to be the Excel VBA video and you're watching youtube.com/c/Ajay Kumar Parmar, and this is something which I very recently came across this situation. This question was somebody actually appeared for the VBA interview, and one of my students actually, he was sharing this sort of requirement, so I thought let me talk about this on my channel. Right, so guys, we are on the video number 493 and I'm just going to take 20 seconds of yours. This is the playlist sequence. You can watch all the videos in this sequence, pause the video and just note it down. These are all the playlists. All these playlists you can find on my channel. When you click on the playlist, this is where you get to see all these 47 different playlists. And if you are watching the video for the first time, if you have just landed up on this channel for the first time, or maybe recently you have joined, then these are all the playlists which are divided into 4 segments, in fact 5 segments now. One is the Excel, the second Excel VBA, then Access, and then Access VBA, and of late we have started the HTML as well, which we use actually in the web designing. Right, so guys, these are all the videos. Enjoy all these stuff. This channel has all the basic level videos, all the intermediate level videos, and all the basically the super advanced stuff. Right, it's a combination of everything. When you click on any of the the video, you just go by that sequence, and I have already shared with you, this is the playlist sequence which you need to watch. Right, all the videos are, you should divided into 5 categories now, and you should watch in this sequence if you want to become an awesome in Excel, Excel VBA, Access VBA, or the web designing also. I have just uploaded 2 videos right now, but you will see more. So let's today talk about what we're going to do. Now guys, this is a question in front of you, and this is a very small data I have prepared here, where you have team names APAC, Asia, Europe, and you have the sales done. So we have the sales done here. Now what we want to do is I'll read out the question for you, and then I'm gonna tell you that what exactly you are supposed to know before you watch this video, because this video actually is the intermediate level video. This is not the basic level video. Right, so what we want to do is, if the team name is APAC and sales greater than $300, then here we want to see profit. Right, and if the team name is Europe or APAC, right, so you have now sorry, it's not or, actually APAC, it's Asia. So if the team is Europe or Asia and the sale is between $400 and $800, then we want to display their loss. Okay, the profit, or otherwise we want to display the loss. Right, so if none of the criteria is going to meet, then we are going to actually use this as a loss. So we have 2 situations here. Right, one is if the APAC team is there and the sale is greater than 300, we should write here the profit. If the team name is, let's say, not the APAC, but it is Europe or Asia, but the sale is between $400 and $800, then also we want to show this profit. And if none of the criteria meets, guys, we would like to say here the loss. Right, so how to do this? So this is what we are going to talk now. You should have a very good understanding about the if functions. Okay, about the VBA if functions. You should also be knowing the basics of the for next loop. Right, just the basic. How do we write this syntax? Now the question is, if you do not know, then what to do? Right, because this is the intermediate level video, then what you can do after watching this video, you can go to this Excel VBA loops and you can pick up the first 3-4 videos. When you click on this playlist, you will get to see the proper sequence there. Excel for next loop, and then for if function part 1, part 2, sort of that. Right, so you can go and learn the things from there, guys. Right, so right now let us go and talk about this, what we want to do. Now the first thing which I want to do, guys, because you have here 2 things. Let's talk about the question number 1 right now. It's APAC and it's sales greater than 300, so that means you have 2 conditions, and when you have the 2 conditions and both the conditions have to be met, then what we do? we simply go and actually use the if and. So I just go and insert the module here. Okay, this is a new module, and let's start the code here. So let's say I just give this name called if and loops. Now the first thing which I'm going to do is to make this simple and to make you this the code understandable. I'm just going to use the if function, and then we will write the loops. So how are you going to write the if function? Well, you just forget that you have these row numbers. Let's say we don't have these row numbers. I just want to work on only this row, which is the row number 2, right? So how are we going to do that? Well, you can simply write here that if range, and then you can write here a2 dot value, right? If it is equals to APAC, remember guys, I said this many times, I'm again repeating, if is a case sensitive in Excel VBA, right? So you need to make sure that it should use the correct case, right? If you think that it's not the possibility, I mean it can have small numbers as well, then you write both the conditions. You write range a2 equals to APAC, and then you write in the capital, and then you write the same in the small letters as well, right? So that's all up to you. Now I'm just going to write this APAC as capital because I know this is my data. And what is the second condition? The second condition is that you just go and write here b2 dot value is greater than what? I just forgot actually. It's $300, right? So if it is going to be greater than 300, then what you're supposed to do, this is how we write, isn't it? So if both the conditions are going to satisfy, then in the cell called C, in the cell called C2, we are going to print profit, isn't it? So I'm just going to write here profit, right? And then what is the next condition? Well, there is another condition. So if there is another condition, then we will write here else if, right? So it's sort of nested if which we are writing. Like in Excel you write if and if. So this is the, you can say that this is also the if and if, nested if. Now what is the next condition? Well, the next condition is I'm just going to copy this entire line, okay? And we're just going to change the condition. So here I'm going to write like this, guys. See this. So first I will write, let me paste this and let me just delete that. Now the first thing is that if let's say it is not APAC, then obviously it will go in the else if condition, and then we're going to say that if the value in the the A2 is Europe, okay, if the value in the A2 is Europe, or you're going to write here or, because we are saying that it's either Europe or your Asia, so you're going to write here Asia, right? Now if this is the case, then let's go and let's talk about one more if. If this is the case, then further we will go, then we're going to write here then let us go and check the another value, which is the sales turn, how the sales turn is performing, right? So we are going to say that then we will further go and write if my range, and then I'm going to write here b2 dot value, if it is greater than 400, and I just copy this line again, and you just put the line here, right? So b2 if it is greater than 400, and I think it's less than, let me check that, because we want to find it out between 400 and 800, right? So you just write greater than equals to 800. If you write greater than equals to 800, obviously 800 will also be included, guys. So same I'm gonna write here, right? So now if this is also the case, then what we are supposed to do, then finally we are going to print the value in the range C2 as profit, isn't it, guys? So we're just going to write here, let me just put some indenting here. So finally we will have the profit, right? Now the point is, if this is not going to satisfy, then what you're supposed to do? This is interesting now, guys. Well, if this is not getting satisfied, if this condition is not getting satisfied, because it may happen that your A2 is going to have Europe or Asia, but this may be possible that having Europe or Asia doesn't mean that the value in the B2 is going to be greater than 400 and less than 800. It can be otherwise also. So in that case this condition fails. Now if this condition is going to fail, what I will do is I will simply copy this and I'm going to put here loss, right? Loss. And then you're going to close this if condition. So how to close the if condition? We're just going to write here end if. That's it, right? Now the point is, if let's say when your VBA is going to read this program and it says that it's not Europe, it's not Asia, neither it is Europe nor it is Asia, then what is supposed to do? Then obviously this entire portion is going to be ignored. Then simply it will come here else. So in the else also, then we are going to write here this complete program, right? This the same line, because then also I want that this should be the loss, right? So finally here you just going to write end if, and you'll stop here this macro in this way. So this is the way, guys, you can write this. There can be other method also, right? I'm not saying that this is the only method, but this is also the method, right? So now let us go ahead and run this. So the first time when I'm going to run this, let's go and check. Now you know that in the A2 I have a value called APAC. So definitely APAC is there, right? This is APAC, you can see that. And what is the value in the B2? Is it greater than 300? Yes, 467 is greater than 300. So I'll go in the then and I'll simply print the profit there, right? Fantastic. Now because we have to go to the next line also, so I'm just going to use the loops here. But before I do that, I want to do some more testing here, right? So let's say, guys, let's say that I'm just going to put this here as $100, right? Now let's go and see that how it is going to behave. So I just run this code here again. Now you know that this is range B2 is not greater than 300. So I'm using and, when we use the and, both the conditions are to be satisfied. This is meeting. APAC is there, but this is not there, isn't it? So this is going to fail. If it is going to fail, what is going to happen? Then portion is not going to be executed. I will go in the else if. Now once you go in the else if, again you will have another testing, which is it Europe or is it Asia? Well, it is not. It is neither of them. So what happens? Finally this entire portion is going to be ignored and you have the else, and then you're going to have the loss. Perfect. This is actually working. Now I'll do one more testing, guys. Why can't we just go here and write Europe? Write the Europe and let's go and check that, right? When I used to learn the VBA, this is how I used to learn it. Rather than making the entire code complex, and writing the loop, everything, first let's do the testing on the first row and then let's change the values and see how it is coming. So now I'm going to run. You know that it is not APAC, so let's quickly go to the else if. Now this is interesting. You know that A2 actually is Europe, right? So if it is Europe, it will not go in this else. It will go where it's going to actually capture this then. It goes in this then part. Now in this then part, again we have a further check. What is the check? The value in the B2, is it greater than 400 and less than 800? It is not. It is not between 400 and 800. So this if is going to fail now. If this if is going to fail, we are not going to execute then part. It will go in the else of this particular if. Where is the else of this if, guys? This is the else. So I press F it and look at this now. So we have the else here, and now it's again going to print the loss, and finally it stops here, end if, completely just ignoring this else also, right? This is how it is. And if I just go and make this, let's say 500, and now if I just go and run the code again, see this, there we go. So it is Europe, we know that, and now this is going to also satisfy, because in the B2 we have a sale which is greater than 400 and less than 800. So finally, guys, it goes here in the C2, it's going to print the profit, end if and end if. I guess the code is working perfect, isn't it? So now, and same for the Asia also, if you write the Asia, it is going to work, right? So now let me just do one thing. Let me start this code and let's now make the loop, because we have to one by one do all the testing here, right? So there's a little change which we have to do. What is that change? The first thing which I will do, I'm just going to write here dim I as long, and then you will write for I equals 2. Now you want to run this loop from row number 2 to row number 7, so I'm just going to make it 2 to 7, right? This is, I think, the best approach, because then you can link this I over here. So I has to run from 2 and it has to go to 7, and then this is where you're going to write next I. So everything is going to be within the loop, right? Let me increase the height of this as well so that we can see the entire code. So let me just put some indenting. So I hope you can see this entire code, guys. Now this A2 is static. Every time you cannot do the comparison with the A2, because you have to go to the A3 also, B3 also, C, then A4, then this B4, then A5, then B5, and so on, right? So we are going to simply remove this 2 from here, and I'm just going to concatenate this with I, right? I'm just going to remove this B and I'm just going to concatenate it with I. Now if you're still thinking what is happening here, basically this I is going to be dynamic. It starts with 2, so the moment it starts with 2, I and A is going to be concatenated, and I is not a string, it's a variable, guys. So I is going to take the value 2 and it is going to be concatenated with A, and it's going to make A2. So finally you have A2, and same here, it's going to be B2, and same here, you're just going to make this again and join this with I. Simple, guys, it's a very simple concept. And again I'm gonna just write here I, right? And again I'm going to just go here and I'm just going to write here I. So in the meantime I'm just replacing all of them with the I. You just wait there and I will be just back. Alright guys, so I have replaced all these conditions. You can see that this is BI, this is BI, this is CI, this is again CI, and we are done with this, right? So I just go and remove some backspace here, and now we're gonna run this. So the first time when I'm going to run this is your for next loop, remember, and let's run this. There we go. So what is the value in the I is 2, so this becomes A2 and this becomes B2. So let's go and check that. You can see that it's APAC, it's 500, which is greater than 300. So let's have the profit here. So it's going to execute the then part, and in the then part this becomes C and I as to C2. So in the C2 I'm gonna print profit. Now once it prints the profit, obviously the entire else if, all these if and else, they are going to be ignored, because if works only on one condition at a time, either then or else mode, right? So now we're going to go on the next I. What is the next I, guys? You can see here, if I hover, it's 3. That makes this A3, that makes it B3. So what is the value in the A3? It's Asia. What is the value here? It's 300. So obviously this is not Asia, so this is going to completely ignored. Then part, I am on the else if. Now this is actually Asia. You can see here this A actually is Asia, so we are writing or. So either this has to be Europe or this has to be Asia, and the Asia is there, so it will definitely go in this then part. And in this then part we are going to check the value is it's 300. So if I just have a show you, it's 300, which is not greater than 400. So obviously we have the else, and we're going to print the value in the C3, right? So in the C3 we're gonna have loss printed, and then again I go back to this loop, and this time I is going to be 4. So this A4 is Europe, which is not satisfied. I go here, this is Europe, so this goes in then part, and then now I have this 100, and this is again going to fail. So I go in the else, and we have range C4 as a value called loss. So we have the loss, guys. Wonderful. So this is how the loop is going to work. And then next I, and what is the next I now? The next I is I5. So here I have Asia, which is again going to fail. So I go here, and this is Asia, this condition meets. So finally we have here the value in the B called $78. You know that this is $78. Again we will have the loss, right? And then again I run this code. Alright, so this time this is APAC, and this value is greater than 300. So we have got the profit, and the last time the loop is going to run, because this time the I is 7, right? So we are running this loop for the last time, guys. So this is Asia. I should ignore this, VBA should ignore this then, and it goes here in this Europe, and finally here we have another test condition, which is greater than 400 and less than 800. You know that this is not the case, this is 300. So finally we have the loss here, and then the loop is finished. So this is how, guys, you can make this pretty awesome if, else if, and for next loop, right? I hope this is going to help you a lot, and if you are preparing for your interviews, or if you just were looking for some more examples on the if and the nested ifs, I think this is the perfect video. While this is not the end of the channel, this is not the end of this subject, as you know that I keep on uploading these fantastic videos. Fantastic because not because I'm uploading it, because I come across these questions, these situations because of you guys, right? Like on my trainings also, when people ask me some sort of their, the questions which they have faced in their, office work or in their personal projects, this is always going to help. So share the information, guys, spread the information, and as I always say that sharing is something which always makes which makes you pretty awesome, because when you share the things, you get the name, you people reach out to you, people know you from your work, and when they reach out to you, they ask you the things, and through that, you learn the things. So with that said, again, I'll promise that next time we'll talk something more exciting. Till then, you take care and have a fantastic learning. Thank you so much, guys. Happy watching.